I know a lot of you guys don't like him, but did he really not ask anybody if they were going to leave with Harbaugh? Essentially, he hired a guy that on the open market would have landed himself a group of 5 job to come in and be a head coach and hire a brand new staff his very first time at the University of Michigan. It is such an unbelievable train wreck. It's laughable. And honestly, kudos to you for getting your national championship. But my goodness, I have never seen a drop like this at a program in my life.
Alrighty, welcome back, everybody, to another episode 58, but especially part 3 of the 10-week war. Honored to have this next guest on. This is Juck, as he goes by, we're just talking about here, but known famously as Juck on Bucks, social media, YouTube show host, and all things Buckeyes. Would you say you're an insider?
No, not at all. I'm just
Not
a
at all?
hardcore fan, brother. Not at all. No.
Awesome. Well, Juck, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. I've been a big fan for, a good while. I mean, before I started the show, I was watching you guys, and I furiously comment sometimes, specifically to one of you, but
Wouldn't be me.
No, of course not.
No. Well, awesome.
I'm happy to have you on here, man. I think that I don't even know how we started talking, honestly.
Yeah,
I really don't know.
Probably just some. I think we agreed on a lot of things last season, and I think we just ended up talking about those over Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
But you seem to see things mostly in the same way I do on most issues, to be honest. Which sometimes we're on an island together, but that's okay.
I've noticed that even our own fan base, me and you, we're sometimes by ourselves. I've noticed that.
We are at
All
times
right.
for sure.
Fans and those. All right, I want to know what would be one of those issues. Like what's one where Garrison and Juck agree on where most Buckeye nations?
Man.
Gosh, I think recently it was just being able to admit that Dan Lanning is in fact a guy that is a pretty special guy, because it takes a special guy to run a program in an elite way. And taking away the coaching ability aspect of it, just to be the guy who can run an elite program. I think he's got all the qualities that it takes to do that. And, some people don't want to admit that or recognize that because, he lost to Washington twice last year. Okay, I get it. But, it takes a special guy to be able to run a Michigan and Ohio State and what Oregon is becoming. I really believe they are. And I believe he's got the chops to do that. As does Garrison. And, a lot of people got on us about that statement. And I don't know, we had a little fight back and forth with a couple of people about it, but that's one thing.
Yeah. I mean, just to add on to, I mean, it would almost be in the same. Who was the coach that didn't stay long at Oregon? What was the name? Black guy?
Willie Taggart.
Willie Taggart. And I tell people, I've told Bryce this because Bryce and all the weird people make of that third base comment. I'm like, guys, it's like I've seen guys like him, or like Taggart, or man, I don't know. I'm blanking on names right now. Coach at Wisconsin. My God, who's the coach of Wisconsin, guys?
Luke Fickell.
My God, Fick is. And you get handed everything. You have a really good program, and you go 6-7. There is the other side of that can happen. So you just can't hand over the keys to a program and think everything's going to go well just because of your name. It can go the other way. So
absolutely right.
Dan Lanning is that guy. He is that guy.
Yeah, he'll show him. I really believe he will. And you look, Garrison, I mean, you and I follow recruiting, a lot. And every guy that we are in on now, all the top guys, Oregon is not just in on, but is high on those guys' lists. Dan Lanning went in there and said, we don't have to be this. We can be that. And he is getting it done. And it's scary. Yeah. It's concerning.
And he has the best quote of all last year, rooted in substance. So I love saying that now. So
it's good. It's good.
The little special thing you guys have going on with the Oregon fans right now is weird. We need.
How about you and USC?
No, I don't claim that with USC. It's just
maybe it's them, but they've clicked up with you.
They love you guys.
Watched it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, yeah, Juck, I don't know if you've caught the first 2 episodes of this little series we're doing.
I have. Yeah.
Awesome. So getting in the off season, which has been nothing short of incredibly eventful. this offseason, but getting an opportunity to get prominent voices from the other fan bases on and having the opportunity to yuck it out has been an absolute treat. And so we're going to get into some things here. Excited for that. But we always like to end with the question of what's the message you'd have for your team and for the rival team. So give you a second to think about it. We'll give you a little more than a second, but some time to think about it.
Yeah.
But excited to hear your response there because we've had some good answers. So we'll kick things right off. I think just diving in to news that was very important to you both. Running back news finally replaced the great Tony Alford
The who?
with somebody.
Yeah.
You mean that soft batch cookie?
I saw you.
Yeah.
That's going around now, isn't it?
So Tony Alford is
No, that's good. I'm going to give you that one. That one's good.
I mean, so you're aware, this is a guy I formerly loved. This is a guy from my hometown in Tony Alford. So it brings me no joy to turn around and bash him. But the truth is, and it didn't come out until later, and some of our beat writers who apparently were covering for him, but Ryan Day had been prodding him for the last couple of years to pick up the pace. He was getting lazy. And then it came out that, they leaked it out finally because they were covering for him, because it turns out Tony was a good friend of them when it comes to, releasing little information and tidbits that they wanted. So they covered for him, and we never found that story out until later. But, it seems to me like it's a guy who just got complacent in his job. And I think that now that he's gone to Michigan and got reinvigorated and got bashed, that he's going to pick it back up. And when he picks it up, he can do good. He's not a bum. He's not.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think he's fraudulent for, preaching for years, all the guys that, Ohio State recruits very much nationally now, and trying to teach these young men what the rivalry means and how important it is. And now everybody in the locker, listen, I think both sides should be irritated when this happens, because now everybody in both locker rooms looks at it like, oh, is it really that serious? You know what I mean? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So that's why I call him Tony Alford. And we got a guy in now that I think was a real diamond in the rough. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
But, I think you guys love football. When you listen to that guy talk, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. That dude's just awesome. Mm-hmm. And he's not just a guy that has recruiting chops, but, when you talk about someone who's been in the coaching game for 3 years, he's pulled some pretty impressive recruits. When he went to Oregon, he went there late in the cycle for cycle number 1. And his list of top recruits is pretty damn impressive for really only having 1.5 cycles at a, power program. So I think he's going to do really well. I'm not too keen on the two offers that I love Marquise Davis. My biggest fear is that he ends up in Michigan. And I think it's looking like it might happen. But he's a guy I just love. I have for a couple of years now. And he came in here, and now he's offered 2 of his guys that he was on when he was in Oregon. One of them, a kid named De'Aaron Hill out of Illinois, top 100 back, really, really good back. I hadn't seen him before, but he's excellent. And another one, a kid he was recruiting from Memphis, who his thing is physicality. He wants to play physical. The kid from Memphis is physical, but he looks like he's running in quicksand. I'm not interested. So I want him to stay on the guys we have an existing relationship with, and Jordan Davison and Bo Jackson, because I think that his existing relationship with them is really strong, and I think he can pull that off. But that's going to end up, I believe, in Marquise Davis up in Michigan. I believe Marquise is going to win Mr. Ohio football, and that'll be 2 running back Mr. Ohio footballs in a row up at Michigan, and I hate that, but it is what it is.
Do you view?
No, man. Go ahead, Bryce. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if Michigan gets their guy, so we Jordan Marshall and now potentially Marquise Davis, but you guys still get your guys, does it still hurt just because they're Ohio kids?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So you would take a lower ranked or rated Ohio kid over.
Here's the deal. I'll give you my whole philosophy on that, Bryce.
Please.
So there are some running back classes where you got a guy at the top that, the gap is substantial. When it comes to Bo Jackson and Marquise Davis, I concede that Jordan Davison is a slightly better prospect than both of them, but the gap isn't big enough for me to want him over either of them. I would much prefer the 2 Ohio kids. That's my opinion on it, but I know that most people don't think that way. I do.
No, and I'll tell you what, I mean, when it comes to the running back position, there's not much of a difference between, let's say, the number 1 guy and the number 15 guy. It's a very instinctual position. Now, maybe their athletic ability is different. Their size can be different. You take Davison, for instance. Well, he's almost 6 foot, about just over 200 pounds, and he's fast. That you don't get. Not everybody has that. Some guys may be 5'9", 170 pounds. But if you have 2 running backs in the state of Ohio who are very sought after, you have to bring. You got to bring him in. It's you have to bring them in. There's a few positions in Ohio that I think that if you have them, you got to bring them in. It's like running back, linebacker, quarterback, lineman. Those are the positions I think at Ohio State. You got, when it comes to in-state recruiting, you have to lock those guys down. And like you said, Marquise Davis probably won't happen. I think he's going to go to Michigan too. So, but Bo Jackson, you need Bo Jackson. I will say that. Plus, the name says it all. So
it's a great name, man.
It is.
It's a great name, but we can't get too fooled by the name. Aaron Noland. You know what I'm saying? No, listen, all year last year, I mean, we had the quarterback woes and nonstop. Just don't worry. Aaron Noland's coming. And I'm looking like, listen, this kid's a nice prospect. Okay. But that name, but overinflated what he was so much just by that name. So I call him Prentice from now on. That's it. It's Prentice.
Yeah, his senior season wasn't that good. His senior season wasn't that good compared to his junior year.
Not even close. But he's a really solid player. But he's not that kind of dude that's going to walk on campus and save the program.
No.
Is that dude in the quarterback room right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we know who Garrison likes. Juck, who do you like?
Oh my gosh. So I was very one of the things that Ryan Day did in the offseason that showed me that I should come around and start supporting him was when he took on Julian Sayin. That's a move that he otherwise would not have done in past years. You know, he was committed to air. He went back on his word. He struggled with it, bringing Julian Sayin in. And in the end, he said, I'm going to do it. That's something I do not believe he would have done in the past. And that was one of the first things, the first big changes I saw in how he's operating the program. And what started giving me hope, because I started this show after the Missouri game because I was so irritated and so angry. Right. And since that, I mean, I've done a whole 180 on Ryan Day. And now I'm a big supporter, right? I'm getting behind him because I saw changes, and that was the first one. And I did a big breakdown on the 2 of those guys and did a deep dive on them, just comparing the 2 of them. And it just opened my eyes to how incredible Julian Sayin is. And then, you know, spring practice starts and we start seeing what's coming out of there. And it's just like, this guy he's legit. And the only knock on him, obviously, is his size. But I believe if he had that size, he would have been so famous. We'd have known about him for 2 years. Everybody would have in the country, because that's how talented I think he is.
Yeah. Actually, Bryce, did you see that pass? Did you see that pass he zipped in spring practice?
Oh, yeah, the pick. Yeah,
that wasn't a pick, Bryce. Watch it again. Watch it again.
No, that was that was, I think, was it an in route or something? He threw it over the guard's head.
Yeah, over the slant. Yeah, it was just while his body's moving left. It was
special.
Just
very special.
You know, trust, integrity, and personal service still matters to a lot of people. Those values are alive and well in Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Dylan Rich's, the Rich's Agency. Dylan offers service that's convenient to you, appointments that fit your schedule, and he'll get to know you face to face. Trust him with all your insurance needs. You need just one good insurance professional in your life. Let's make it Dylan. Call 616-600-0083 today with Farm Bureau Insurance, Michigan's insurance company. It's fired up to have Dylan on board and partnering with us for this show.
No, but stay on recruiting. So I actually sent to me earlier. And I watched your interview with TJ Alford, and which is really good. If you guys haven't seen it, you should definitely go watch it. We'll put it up here for you all. In there, you can kind of tell he was excited about being a Buckeye, especially when he talked about Ryan Day, and even more especially when he talked about the animal James Laurinaitis.
Oh yeah,
and you sent me a message earlier, and I want you to bring that here for Bryce about how recruits and these kids are viewing Ohio State right now.
Yeah. So the last, I talked to TJ Alford, London Merritt, who just, had a surprise commit. I had him on the show. Two top 100 guys, one out of Georgia, one out of Florida. And then Des Jones and Deshaun Stewart, I had them on yesterday. They're the two new kids who are teammates out of DePaul Catholic in New Jersey. And one of the things I talked to about now, Des and Deshaun, slightly lower rated recruits, excellent players. And, I'm not talking about them like that, but TJ and London are very high ranked recruits. And I just kind of, before we start recording, I get to know them a little bit. And one of the things I talked to both of them about was, their visits and who they talk to when they're visiting and kind of the feel for Ohio State. And, this is a kid from Georgia and a kid from Florida. And they're like, I mean, as far as, we talk and we see all the same kids where we go, and it's Ohio State and it's Georgia. And that's what it is. That's what it is now. That's the it schools. That's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Bama's gone. It's Ohio State and Georgia. And we're seeing it. We're seeing it, Garrison.
Yeah.
We saw it with Naeem Offord. Naeem Offord was an indicator to us that everybody's got a show me attitude with Kalen DeBoer. It's a show me attitude. And I don't think he's going to be able to show him in year one. Ohio State will continue to pick that momentum up. And we're in for a hell of a run.
No, man, if you just look at this class right now, and Bryce, insane. I don't know if you've had time to look at it.
I'm looking now.
Oh yeah, it's very beautiful, isn't it? Isn't it? What'd you say? But I mean, how often? I mean, think about this. How often do the number 1 and 2 corners in a class come to one school?
Yeah, it's only happened once before.
Yeah.
That was us.
Yeah, exactly. And then you think about it, then you have a third guy in Wood. How do you say his name?
Blake Woodby.
Blake Woodby. Thank you, Blake Woodby. And I'm saying, I mean, I've seen other guys that are taking visits to house. I'm like, how many corners can we fit in this class, or even safeties? But who is your? Let me ask this: who is your it guy in the class so far?
Listen, for me,
and you can't say Tavy.
It's London Merritt. It's London Merritt.
All right.
I when you watch London Merritt, it's something different to me. And I honestly, the kid's ranked in the top 100. I don't know how he's so low. I feel like this kid is a top 10 prospect all day. I think he's going to be something really, really special. I mean, and I'm not just saying that because I talked to him and he's a really awesome kid. I've talked to like 5 of these kids now in this class. To me, he's just something special. He really is. As far as TJ Alford, honestly, I love him. And I think he's great, but I think Eli Lee is someone being slept on big time. And that's a linebacker out of Akron-Hoban. He's actually a whole lot like James Laurinaitis, like a whole lot like him. But, the class is just loaded, dude. It's just loaded. There's so many to pick from. You could really throw a dart. Obviously, when I say this, like, I think Devin Sanchez and Naeem Offord are just going to be those dudes, but like everybody already knows that, I'm going a little further down. Like those guys are they're locks. They're guaranteed first rounders. It's just what it is. They're 6'2" corners that are just amazing.
No, you said Eli Lee. I watched this when he committed. I watched this tape, his highlight film. I don't want to say tape, his highlight film. And I noticed that just like you, he's very underrated. I think he's one of those guys. And yes, Bryce, we do get 3-star athletes. We get 3 stars and we develop them. Highest percentage of 3 stars drafted in the NFL, by the way.
That's a fact.
But for me, my guy is Deshaun Stewart. So when he committed, I had no idea who this kid was. He's long and he moves like a 5-star. Now I don't want to be one of those guys like Michigan fans who every time they get a lowly ranked guy, they sit there and go, "Oh man, but he should be a 4-star or 5-star." I'm not going to do that. But that New Jersey area, I feel like that's probably like one of the most underrated spots for talent in the nation, because everyone wants to talk about California, Ohio, Texas, Georgia. That New Jersey area, if you can lock that down, I'm surprised that Penn State hasn't done that, which is amazing to me.
Oh, they tried. They tried with these 2 kids right here. They were big. They were big on Penn State. And what happened was Ohio State walked in and said, guys, we need it now if you want to come. And they came. That's it.
Mhm.
They were Penn State leans. They were both going to Penn State. That's how Ohio State's got it right now.
So what's the key? What's Ohio State and evidently Georgia? If they are the two programs as you've stated, or those guys have stated, what's the difference
let's
maker?
let's keep it proper. Listen, the two top 100 prospects stated that to me. I didn't state that.
Yeah, right. Sorry. Not Juck. Juck would never say that. No, never. No bias. But no, I think
I'm extremely biased.
I think it is.
I don't think I am. I think I'm pretty even kill.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, curious. So what does Ryan Day got going on right now? Is it Rosh Bjork coming in and finding the payday, signing checks? Is it?
No, honestly, I think this is honestly just a stroke of luck with Saban. And I think he pounced on it. The NIL being where it is right now is obviously helpful.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why this is some big surprise or some big like gotcha. Yeah. Money is a big thing to everybody. But money doesn't get it all done. You know, I mean, it takes being a program like Ohio State and having the money to also get it done at this level. Same as Georgia. But for some reason, everybody's got a problem with Ohio State being in that realm. I don't get it. Even look at the transfer portal classes. Ohio State went about it exactly the same way as Georgia, bringing in 6 guys, getting the best prospect they could at each position that they needed. Georgia did the exact same thing. They just couldn't get the number 1 ranked prospect in most of those positions. They got the number 2 ranked guy because they got out either bid or out recruited on them. I don't know, but just the constant finger pointing, particularly from you guys. Like you would have our NIL if you.
No, don't say you guys. Say Bryce. Say Bryce.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I did mean Bryce. Like, I listen to you guys. I never miss an episode, and I don't understand why this is some gotcha. Like, yes, we have good NIL because we care about our football team, so we contribute. I get that draw every month comes out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I care about it, so I donate so that I can be in this position. And you guys got it done last year without it, and that. Everything came together just perfectly for you. However, it's not sustainable and it. I think that what we're doing now at Ohio State is something that's sustainable and is going to be a mini dynasty, but I'll save that for the end.
Oh man.
I'm excited. Okay, fair to say you guys, what bothers me about that, and especially with my good pal Garrison here, they come across very much like, oh, it's Ohio State. They want to come back and they want to win and they want to do it for the marijuana leaf on their helmet. No, it's like let's accept the facts. It is what it is. Money's a big part of it. That's all I'm saying. I think this is the game. This is the landscape. This is the way it should be played.
I don't like.
I'm sorry, Juck.
Go ahead, G. Go ahead.
All right. I hate that I have to repeat myself when I say this. Bryce Robert Sack, was there not something last year called the One More Year Fund? Or something like that?
We're going to do this all again right now.
I'm asking you. It's in a simple yes or no vote.
There was.
Thank you.
But we're not sitting there pounding our chest saying, oh, is it coming back? Just we are open.
You did pound your whoa.
No, just pounding our chest saying, oh yeah, we're just coming back to the championship. No. It was public news. That was what we were behind. One more year program. We're not just saying Denzel Burke's come back because he just wants to win. No, like let's have an honest conversation.
I never said that. But he's been well compensated since he stepped at Ohio State. Okay, he's been fine.
I just want across the board. Let's just be honest about it.
And I appreciate that, and I like to just be honest about it because it's not some gotcha thing. It's the truth. And I think that this is actually the best part of NIL is now. We love to get to know the players. I love to get to know the players at Michigan. I want guys to come back for their senior year. If they can come back, get some money to chill them out. Okay, let me get this money and I can wait one more year and try to improve my draft stock. We all get to see them play their senior year. They get another year of eligibility. And in the long run, it's better for their future. It's the best part of NIL. It's the absolute best part. So I'm not ashamed of that one bit.
Well put. Yeah, no, I think, I think, and it's the way it is now. It's the way it should be. Kids are getting paid. And, we get Jane Davis Day, just the quarterback for Michigan, the freshman. He just signed a NIL deal with I think it was the local Ford dealership, which, if you listen to the show, very frustrating. Car dealership, endorsement, Keon Sab. Come on, what are we doing? But that's another conversation for another time.
You're never gonna let that go, are you?
I'm not. That's almost unforgivable. All right, Juck.
Yeah.
I want to make sure, because I want to get your voice and on this. We got a couple minutes left here. What's your message to either fan base, and start with whatever one you want, but I feel like both are gonna be good.
Yeah, to Buckeye fans, there are still a lot on the fence with Ryan Day. And I just, want to point out that I was in their shoes for the last couple of years. Well, not the last couple of years, but last year in particular, where I was just like, all right, I've had enough. I'm out on this guy. But we have seen changes in the way this guy operates. We've seen him make very difficult decisions, things that he normally wouldn't do. He gave up play calling, not just so that he could be a CEO of an organization, but so he could make better decisions at the end of games. And we know that he struggled with that. That was a very difficult decision. The Julian Sam thing, an incredibly difficult decision. The coaching, he got rid of his buddy Parker Fleming, which obviously it was a stupid decision. It got, egg on his face, but he did the right thing. And he's continued to do that. And he has now assembled what is a coaching staff that is absolutely phenomenal with the two best coordinators in college football. I don't think there's a debate about that. I mean, Notre Dame folks, a couple of them will debate it, but I don't think it's debatable. And we have got something really special brewing. You see it with recruiting. And I really believe that this program is set up for sustained success for the next 5 years. And Ryan Day will be a multiple-time national champion. And enjoy the ride. Let's enjoy the ride. It's fantastic. We've had nothing but good news since 2 minutes after Michigan won a national championship. Our rival won a national championship. Quinchad Judkins squashed it. 2 minutes. They got to enjoy it for 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Oh, it's squashed.
That's it. It's over. It was over after 2 minutes. So there we go. For the Michigan fans, I would almost feel bad for you guys, the situation that your program is in right now. Honestly, if it weren't for the way you embraced the little dweeb dork hanger-on that brought all this garbage onto your program, the way that you guys embraced that little dork and acted like he's some kind of hero.
Connor?
Yeah, who else am I talking about?
No, just making sure. Right, go ahead.
I just cannot stand that the way he's been treated as some hero. You have seen how Ohio State has treated someone in Terrell Pryor, who embarrassed the program, and that was for basically nothing. This dude brought all this crap onto your program. Things you don't even know. More is coming. You look at your recruiting class, you got 3 Wisconsin recruits, and it's all because of this guy. And you embrace him like he's some kind of hero. I can't stand it. It drives me nuts, but it's on par. I get it. But you got a group of 5 head coach starting with a brand new staff. I mean, how stupid is this Ward Manuel? I know a lot of you guys don't like him, but did he really not ask anybody if they were going to leave with Harbaugh? Essentially, he hired a guy that on the open market would have landed himself a group of 5 job to come in and be a head coach and hire a brand new staff his very first time at the University of Michigan. It is such an unbelievable train wreck. It's laughable. And honestly, kudos to you for getting your national championship. But my goodness, I have never seen a drop like this at a program in my life. And I'm here for it.
Objectively speaking, that was pretty good. I just want to get on record here.
Oh, he's left you speechless.
If we did not win the national championship, Connor would not be revered the way he is. That said, I hate to say this, I kind of agree with you. And I've never really been on his side too much. Garrison, correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't think I've been too much of a supporter aside from just maybe being stupid. But
yeah, he's making jokes, but I don't take you seriously.
I do think what he did, and you could argue it was worth it. I don't know, maybe, but I think, yeah, the situation that appears to be in front of us because of him is pretty frustrating. So there's some merit to what you're saying there. That said, I'll also say, let's see how the season plays out. Let's see how the guys do. Let's see how the defensive staff that Sherrone Moore put together performs. I think there's a lot of returning talent this year, and I think it could be a good year. But honestly, the next year after that, when you lose everybody, you lose a lot of production, makes you wonder. But that's conversations for another time. So you think, what's your prediction for Michigan this year then? Sounds like not great.
I think they're going to win 8 games. I think you're going to win 8 games, and I think that'll be, pretty good for the schedule that they have. They got, obviously 5 pretty tough games. I think they're going to win 8 games, and I think that you guys are going to be really upset with that still, even though that's what you're set up for. That's what your guy set you up for, and your buddy Ward Manuel there. I mean, when you think of who they could have gone and got, I agreed with the original "let's keep the band together" philosophy. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, it makes sense. Hire Sherrone Moore, but that's before I realized everybody was leaving. So anyway, I think it's going to be a rough one, and like you said, the following one even rougher. But the recruiting thing is just like, oh my gosh, dude, this is a disaster. It's a disaster.
I'm amazed at how over a 3-year span, you win the Big Ten 3 times, you beat Ohio State, you win a natty, but somehow progressively your recruiting has gotten worse to where we are today.
Well, I think you know the answer to why that is, and that's Harbaugh. After 2021, after 2022, after 2023.
No, for sure. But I think it's just and how he talks about how Ohio State is over the next 5 years, we are built for success. I tweeted this earlier. We are the best organization in college football. I don't care what anyone says. I think we are a very well-ran machine. Eventually, your recruiting classes have to play football. Eventually, they have to. So
yeah, I don't know, guys. I think the transfer portal has changed everything. Like the guys.
How many transfers are you going to take?
Well, I'm just saying. Well, but how many you take? But then how many you also lose? Like how many of your top-rated recruits in this class that you're just talking about are going to be there in 2 years?
We're Ohio State, Bryce.
Don't play.
We're Ohio State, Bryce. It doesn't matter.
That's my point. So how impactful is recruiting still? I still think it's passable. Don't get me wrong, but with the transfer portal and this new day and age of football, where you can go poach a kid who's played 4 years from someone else to fill a gap that you didn't get recruiting.
Bud Elliott said on the Cover 3 podcast, recruiting is still way more important than the transfer portal. And it's not even close, because what you get in the transfer portal, usually you're getting guys who couldn't play. That's what you're usually getting.
Which is the guys Ohio State lost last year. Yeah. We have 2 guys that were contributors that left. 2 guys.
I told you that, Bryce, when we talked about it. I said all those guys that transferred.
Fleming and who?
Chip to train him.
Yeah.
Oh, train him, yeah.
And Fleming can go. I told you, Bryce. I was very bold on that take, but I was probably a little bit mean. I can care less about that. I like him as a person. I want him to succeed.
Yeah.
Him leaving doesn't hurt a doggone thing in the Woody. So
Ohio State wide receiver depth isn't an issue, is it?
No,
it never will be.
All
hasn't
right.
been since the 80s.
This has gone by way too fast.
Bryce, I want to tell you, man, I think you are awesome. I love watching you guys. I hope I didn't come off. I want to have fun with this rivalry again, like I did all my life. I feel like last year took a nasty turn, and granted, I'm in Twitter and stuff, so I see the nastiness of it. But I want to bring back the fun in it. It's been something I've enjoyed all my life. I love being part of it. And I think you're awesome. So, G, you know how I feel about you. You guys are
my
the best,
man.
You guys
my
are really
man.
good.
Thank you, bro.
Juck, I totally agree with everything you said. It's back. It's a great rivalry, and we'll have you on again here because this was so fun.
I would
love
to,
appreciate it.
Yeah.
OH.
Yo, baby.
Let's go.
I'll holler at you guys.
Go follow Juck on everything. Twitter, YouTube. He's the man. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
See you,
guys.
man.
Talk to you soon.